a lot of y'all like that. Can't let y'all do that. See, I ain't got my shoes on either. So it look a little bad up here.
Would you like to address that right off the top?
Huh?
Would you like to address that right
That
off
I'm the best basketball player on this team? Well, off the top, I can get a scholarship in basketball if I can right now. I can go hoop right now.
What position would you play and what would be your starting
All
five?
5 of them, 1 through the 5. No, you can't listen to Kool-Aid. I'm a big man, too. I can play the big, I can play the one, I can take it up the court, I can do whatever. Post up, post fade, whatever you need.
So besides yourself, who would be in your starting 5 on this team?
On this team, I can get him on my team, even though he's talking trash, but I can play against him, too. But I get him, probably Terrion, and I'll probably grab another big man. I ain't going to be good down there and bang like that. So probably 2 other big men, but I don't know who, though.
Who else you guys got? Kate?
As a guy growing up in Alabama, just kind of what does Iron Bowl mean to you, and did you grow up rooting for Alabama?
Oh, yeah, I was a big Alabama fan. We always got family over to the house, watch the game, order food, or they'll cook sometime, and we'll just all fellowship together. It was a big deal for our family. We'll do a big deal about it. My house is like really divided. My sister was an Auburn fan. I was an Alabama fan. My mom and dad are really neutral because they don't really know, like, okay, here we go. But I chose Alabama, and that was that.
Why is your sister an Alabama or an Auburn fan?
Ooh, I don't know why she's an Auburn fan. You can't tell. I don't think she is now. Well, hopefully she see this. I think she's an Alabama fan. I hope she is. So I never knew why she was an Auburn fan, but I hope she's an Alabama fan now.
Nick Saban says a lot of times before these rivalries that you get measured after your Alabama career. What do you do against Auburn? What do you do against Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a chance to be the first team to win 4 straight against Auburn since like the 80s. What would that mean to you just as an Alabama guy and maybe possibly being 4 for 4 against Auburn in your career?
It'd be a big deal. Like we said in the meeting room, that the month of November is pretty big. We got a lot of challenges in the month of November, and we have 1 more game left. And we're actually 2 this season. We have a 2-week season, but 1 left in November, and we have to go ahead and dominate and continue that streak.
You've mentioned Alabama-Auburn a couple of times. Is there one particular Alabama-Auburn game that you didn't play in that you remember?
Oh, I'll probably say the kick 6. It was kind of like, okay, we finna make this field goal. We won, and everybody was standing up. It was like all the Auburn fans had walked out. It was like, all right, y'all won. We got this. And he kicked it, and it was kind of short. I'm like, all right, hold on now. And he returned, and I was like, nah, ain't no way. And everybody came back in, and all the Alabama fans just walked out the house at that point. We was like, man, no way.
Roydell, the running game's really been getting going with Milroe, with Jam Miller, and even getting Kendrick Law involved, but yourself as well. What's been the key to the last handful of weeks having the running game really effective over the last couple of weeks?
The big guys up front, they do a fantastic job on their assignments. With the addition of Jaden Roberts, he's came in and tagged along very, very well, and those guys just do a great job with communicating and knowing their assignments. Coming in on the days where some days it's kind of tough and they may be banged up or so, but they do a great job at practice and practicing getting game reps in. So they do a great job.
As an offense, do you guys kind of give grief to the coaches on the other side who have ties to Auburn, like Kevin Steele and T-Rob and Gary Walker?
Oh, most definitely. I'm gonna give T-Rob to starting the day. I'm gonna give him a headache. He wore the jersey number 5, and we always talk about who the real 5 is. I'm the real 5, T-Rob, and we go back and forth about it. But it's all fun and games, and Saturday is gonna be a big deal for us, and we're gonna go out and dominate.
Coach Reese was named a semifinalist for the Broyles Award yesterday, and Coach Saban kind of talked about how he's transformed the offense as the season has gone along. Just kind of how have you seen that and the way he's helped the offense kind of transform and evolve?
Just having a good relationship with him, him getting comfortable, knowing the players, knowing our abilities to do a lot of things, spread the offense out, having Miro do what he does, read pass option, just being able to just get everybody comfortable and on the same page is key for us, and being balanced is the most important thing.
Anyone else? Two more.
Hey, Roydell, with Auburn losing to New Mexico State last week, how important is it for you guys to maintain that this is an important game? I mean, every single game is an elimination for you guys. How's the team focus been? I know it's only Tuesday, but can you talk about that?
Never get too comfortable. It's another opponent that we still have to play, and we still have to go out and dominate our box. And it's just, like I said, just another opponent, and we have to do what we have to do. We just can't get complacent. And he talked about that earlier on this week, and where we just still have to do our job.
What's the best Thanksgiving side?
It's the side. I'll say I like cabbage. I love cabbage. That's a phenomenal side. Greens, I like greens, but I like cabbage the best though. Thank y'all.
Yeah, hey, Kool-Aid. Yesterday, Malachi kind of mentioned it, but are you guys kind of giving Coach T-Rob a hard time this week, being that he's from Auburn?
Yeah, well, I haven't really even thought about it. I've been so focused on the things that they do as an offense and the things that we need to do and how we need to execute as defense. But I'm glad you brought that to my knowledge. I would be on it today for sure.
Hey, Kool-Aid, going back 2 years, that was obviously a big play for you late in that game at Jordan-Hare. I mean, what do you remember most from that, or what stands out to you most from that play that you made?
Just knowing that I was a freshman and just me being excited to be able to make that play for the team, and with Mechie going on to lead the game-winning two-point conversion in the game, just me being a freshman and being excited to make that play for the team, it made me very happy.
On your left, just you mentioned yourself being a freshman. What advice would you give to Caleb going down to that hostile environment, playing as a starter? Just what advice do you give him?
I'll just tell Caleb to be himself. He already know what he need to do as a player. He's a good player. He prepared the right way. He do everything the right way. So I just tell him to be himself. That's all I tell him before any game or any time he asks me any question. Just be yourself. I know we trust in him and we know he gonna do his job.
Left with Austin.
We asked you about the other rivalry games, and you kind of said that this is the one that you grew up around. Like, how much does this game mean to you, being a kid from the state?
It means a lot to me being a kid from the state because here at Alabama, you either going to be an Alabama fan or an Auburn fan. And I grew up an Alabama fan, so just me being on the right side of the Iron Bowl, I just feel good about that.
You guys have had a couple key signal callers out with Deontay and Jalen missing time. How has that impacted just communications on defense?
I feel like the guys that we have put in for those guys have did a good job of just making sure they're preparing and stepping up and making sure that we don't have any drop-offs. So I feel like the guys that we have put in to step in those shoes that those guys have and the roles that those guys have, I feel like they did a good job preparing and doing their right job.
You mentioned T-Rob. What about Kevin Steele, having coached at Auburn? Are you brave enough to mention that to him?
Yeah, I'm definitely brave enough to mention it to Coach Steele. He just told us yesterday that he worked there for 5 years straight, so we know we're going to be on him about that even more than we are T-Rob.
Kool-Aid, when not counting the game you've played in, the games you've played in, do you have a memory of a certain Alabama-Auburn game? And you said you grew up an Alabama fan, so I guess you were for Alabama.
I maybe shouldn't say this, but the game I remember the most, of course, is Kick Six. And I remember it the most because Chris Davis actually was my high school coach, so just knowing that was actually him and him being my high school coach was very exciting to me, know how he did that.
Charlie?
You're pretty close with Terrion. Just how have you seen him kind of grow and mature over the course of his career?
Yeah, I'm very proud of Terrion. Just watching him since we both was freshmen, and just watching him mature, like you said, and becoming the player that he's becoming. I'm just very excited to see him. I see how hard he works. I see how much he's dedicated into being a great player and being a good player into this program. So I'm very happy with him.
Khalid, on the television broadcast, they said that Roydell told them that he was one of the best basketball players on the team. I wanted your perspective on that, and I was going to ask Roydell who his top, his best starting five would be. So, who is your starting five on the Alabama football team if you're taking the hard court?
First of all, Roydell is being very delusional with that. He's kind of like a shorter big man, so I mean, who expects him to be a good basketball player? But he can play a little bit. But my starting five on the team will be probably me, Terrion, Spooty, Dallas, and Proctor. That would be my starting five. Feel like we can go play in the SEC after we done handling our business.
Have you talked with the team, or have you talked with Nick Saban about the punt returner role, and how do you kind of approach that? And moving forward, what would you like, I guess?
Well, I'm just here for the team. Whenever my number's called, that's when I would step up. Caleb did a good job this weekend. I feel like he stepped up into the role and did a great job with scoring a touchdown and just going out there making sure he did well for the team. So when my number's called, I'll be ready.
It's also the week of Thanksgiving. What's the best Thanksgiving side?
I definitely got to have ham and macaroni and cheese. I can care less for everything else. Nah, I'm a ham guy. All right, see you guys.
How y'all doing?
You're from Birmingham. Just what do you remember about watching the Iron Bowl growing up, and which side of that were you on?
Well, growing up in Birmingham, definitely big Alabama, born and raised. Like Kool-Aid said, the memory I probably had the most was about the kick six. Just how sad my sister was. She was really angry. And usually my sister, she, delightful smiles, but that's the first time I seen like she was really pissed.
Yeah, hey Tim, this is our first time with you up in this room. Just what's been the biggest difference from you or for you from last year to now?
Just my commitment. First, I want to give glory to God because that's the reason I'm here, and I was committed to Him. I dedicated my outside life to Him, and football just kind of fell into place.
You have a former Auburn player as a GA, and Gary Walker. Just what's it like this week with him and him going back there?
It's always fun to mess with former coaches dealing with former schools that they come to. But, like Kool-Aid said, we focus on the plan to execute, to make sure we up there filling the gaps like we're supposed to, having great technique, and flying fast to the football.
You mentioned the kick six, but what's the first Iron Bowl you remember watching?
First Iron Bowl, I'll probably have to say when Cam Newton played, and I really wanted y'all to win that one, but it was at the time I was trying to have some bragging rights being a kid, and I was kind of disappointed, but God gave me another chance to make it right.
This is an Auburn team that really likes to run the ball. How much do you like that as kind of like the run stuffing defensive tackle, the nose guard kind of guy? Like how much do you kind of like these kind of games?
Well, Auburn is a good team. They have a plan they want to, try to do. My job is to, fill gaps and control the run. Of course, I love it, especially, having that type of pressure on you because I was told pressure is a privilege. So having my teammates depend on me, having the coaches depend on me to fill that gap, and really the whole D lineman, the whole defensive line in that aspect means a lot.
Kind of bouncing off that with the D-line yesterday, Coach Shapen just talked about as a group how much y'all have grown this year. Just how have you kind of seen that in your group? And you talked about some of the young guys that have come along.
It's been amazing, especially guys like Jordan Renard, Edric Hill, James Smith. Those guys is finally getting their number called from the hard work they been putting in from fourth quarter to spring ball to the summer fall camp. It's always good to see like your little brother finally get to
see what his dream is about from playing from all those years.
Right here, Charlie.
Coach Saban mentioned you kind of first whenever he was asked about leaders of the defense, about how you've kind of stepped up front. What has that been like, just being more vocal and being more of a leader this fall?
It's definitely been a blessing just to come in and have that type of impact. I really just try to show my teammates do as I do, not do as I say. So I don't want to tell you anything that I wouldn't do. So I try to be an example and just try to branch off of that.
You dropped close to 30 pounds before, between last year and this year. What kind of went into that process, and what all did that take?
Just really stop being a baby. No food tastes good, but sometimes you can't be eating past really like 9 o'clock. So I just had a commitment to myself, and I wanted to prove to myself that I can overcome some, and I can be somewhere that a lot of people see where I can be.
Anything else? Last
What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Side, I'd probably say my dad mac and cheese. Yeah, but he do Friday's turkey. I don't think nobody in the state mess with pops on the turkey now, but yeah, I'd say mac and cheese my favorite side.